Okay, so we're going to break down a crisis that starts in one tiny, narrow strip of water, but quickly spirals out, threatening to shut down the entire global economy. And listen, this isn't just about oil prices. This is about the very real possibility of a tech famine, because the energy and the minerals that build our modern world suddenly got stuck. Let's trace the path of this shutdown, from a single choke point to a full-blown global crisis.
To really get your head around the scale of this, you have to start with this one number: 25%. That's a quarter of the world's entire seaborne oil trade, all of it, flowing through one single maritime choke point, the Strait of Hormuz. It's basically the planet's most critical energy artery.
So, what happens when that artery is suddenly clamped shut? Well, in early 2026, the world found out, and it found out the hard way. Let's take a look at the chain of events that brought this vital passage to a complete and total standstill. The speed of this escalation was just breathtaking. In late February 2026, military action erupts in the region. By February 28th, just days later, the risk is so high that major shipping lines and oil traders suspend everything. By early March, that's it. The choke point is effectively closed. We went from tension to total blockade in less than a week.
And you can see the immediate impact right here. Look at this. In the weeks leading up to the crisis, you've got an average of 129 ships passing through every single day. But in the week right after, that number just plummets to 6. Traffic didn't just slow down, it pretty much evaporated overnight.
So, what's the first thing that happens when a quarter of the world's oil gets trapped? Well, the first and most immediate ripple hits everyone, everywhere, right in the wallet. And it was instant. As soon as the strait closed, energy markets just reacted with pure panic. The price of Brent crude oil, that's the main global benchmark, immediately surged past $90 a barrel.
But, that was just the beginning. As the days turned into weeks and this blockade held firm, the supply shock got more and more intense. By late March, the price had rocketed past $112. We were now deep into territory that threatened economic stability all over the world.
And the analysts were crystal clear. This was not a temporary price spike. Nope. Fitch Ratings warned that if this closure dragged on for months, the average price for the whole year could hit an eye-watering $120 a barrel. This was the start of a sustained global price shock.
And this wasn't just some abstract problem for Wall Street. This slide shows how it translated directly into your household budget. European gas prices, they exploded by up to 45%. In the UK, energy bills were projected to jump by £160. And here in the States, drivers in California saw prices at the pump climb over $5 a gallon.
But the shockwave from the straits didn't stop with just energy prices. The effect started to ripple outwards, hitting other absolutely critical parts of the global economy in ways you might not expect.
Okay, so this slide reveals a hidden but super critical connection, the one between energy and the food on our tables. See, natural gas is a key ingredient for making nitrogen-based fertilizers. And as you can see, when the natural gas price index went through the roof, the price of essential fertilizers followed, almost in perfect lockstep. This puts immense pressure on global food production, threatening harvests and pushing food prices way up.
The crisis also poured gasoline on an already burning fire, the scramble for critical minerals. With supply chains in total chaos, the competition for the resources we need for our technology, for our green energy future, it just intensified. As the UN's Rosemary DiCarlo pointed out, this isn't just an economic problem anymore. It fuels some serious geopolitical tension.
So what happens when the world's main energy highway closes down? Well, you get a massive, chaotic, and incredibly expensive global traffic jam. This crisis really exposed how fragile our just-in-time supply chains are. This chart shows the dramatic rerouting of trade. Traffic through Hormuz plunged by 90%, forcing ships on a much longer and costlier journey all the way around Africa's Cape of Good Hope. We're talking weeks and millions of dollars added to every single voyage.
So, with oil prices soaring, supply chains shattered, and the global economy teetering on the brink, how did the world respond to what was fast becoming the largest supply disruption in history?
And just to be clear about the scale of this, the International Energy Agency, they didn't mince words. They called it the single largest supply disruption in the history of the global oil market. It was even bigger than the infamous oil shocks of the 1970s. This was completely uncharted territory. In response to this unprecedented crisis, the world took an unprecedented step. 32 member countries of the IEA agreed to a coordinated release of 400 million barrels of oil from their strategic emergency reserves, the largest release like this in history. It was a massive attempt to calm the markets and put a lid on prices.
This historic action definitely helped calm the panic, but it also brings up a deeply unsettling question for our modern, energy-hungry world. Tapping into emergency reserves is a last resort. It's a temporary fix for what could be a long-term problem, and it really leaves us all wondering, what happens next time? What do we do when the reserves run low?